newer channel, and this is just going to be a short update because I don't have a whole lot of work done to this. Just been, the usual life crap, just busy. I don't remember where I left off, and I'm too lazy to look on my last update. But we got the engine in the car. So that's looking pretty good. We had to go with the kit headers because the headers I picked out on my junk box, which I thought would work, didn't work after all. So it's like, terrific. And all the headers I have in my junk box, none of them would fit this. So I thought, well, I guess I could use solder, but I didn't have any solder that is the right diameter to, look correct as far as the header pipes. So it's like, well, I'm the type of guy, if it doesn't look right, then I'd rather just not do it at all and dick around with it. So I took the headers out of the kit that came with the GTX. And since those were for the Hemi, obviously they wouldn't mate up to the block neither, so I had to use a votive candle and really soften them up and tuck them in pretty close to the block, the only way I can get them to get the engine to fit in there. So basically, kind of sort of like the real car, that come out between the transmission and the torsion bars. So they're really tucked in there. In fact, it's so tucked in there, I couldn't get the engine out once I put it in there. So I thought, well, I can't get it out, might as well go ahead and glue it in place. So I just kind of wiggled it around and got the glue in there and just went ahead and glued it in place. Thank goodness I painted the frame before I test fitted it, or I'd be in trouble. So that's the 383. It's set up just like his with the double pumper and the small air cleaner. We got the what the hell was it called? The torquer. Got that on there and painted on there. So there is the 383. I didn't wire it up. It'd be a pain in the ass with the way these headers are designed. I didn't feel like going through all that, so it's not going to be wired. So that's 383. Looks just like his. The exhaust, I got to come up with an exhaust. He had Thrush on his, and Thrush, they had several different styles of mufflers back in the day. They had the style that kind of looked like cherry bombs, kind of like a bullet. They had just mufflers, and then they had these with a real long inlet and a real short outlet, which usually that inlet ended up putting the mufflers underneath your seat, the front seat. So that's why your car was so loud, because your exhaust is right underneath your butt. And cherry bombs are even worse. These were a little quieter than cherry bombs, but they're still pretty loud, being it was right underneath your butt. But we got those made. The exhaust I got on my junk box, I don't know what they were out of, but I cut the pipes off because I went into mufflers because that was about the size of the Thrush mufflers. Put my own pipes on and glued them on I made my own flanges and then glued them onto the header. Even though these headers are really not the right ends for this style of exhaust, but got to make do with what you got, so that's all I had. They've been painted with the Vallejo metallic color. This paint is airbrush ready, so you just shake it up, pour it in, and you're off and running. It's pretty good stuff. I really like Vallejo stuff. I like it better than the AK stuff, but anyway, we got it done, painted with the Vallejo aluminum. The headers we painted white because I think my brother had hooker headers, and his were white, and mine were blackjack, so mine were black. But so we just painted those white, and that's that. This I had to. It's just on here. It's not glued in yet. I don't want to glue it in until I get the body done. But I had to add to the drive shaft. It was a little too short, so I had to add well, maybe 1/4 of an inch to the drive shaft to get it to made up to the tail here. We're back. with another segment for our update. We got the quarters cut, and we got the fender flares on. Now these are forms that I made for both sides, and I'm using pictures of my brother's car to kind of give me a guide on how they looked on his car. So, using sheet styrene, I don't know what thickness it is. It's either 030 or 040. I really don't remember. We've got the fender flares on. What I did is I just cut a strip, used some super glue and some activator to basically form it around the opening. And once we get our filler on there, then we'll start shaping it. I think I got them pretty close. This one might be a little wider than this side, so I might have to do a little more sanding, but I got the basic shape. You can't even see that, I don't think. I got the basic shape on each side pretty close to one another. I did screw up, and I got a little bit too much super glue on this side, and it dripped out because I had the car upside down, and it dripped out down the quarter panel, and I didn't see it, so it's like, crap. So I'll probably have to do a little filler work on the quarter panel where I screwed up on the glue. So we'll have to do that. And I have I bought some epoxy sculpt. Now I already have this in black, but I really didn't want to use black epoxy sculpt on the body since we're painting this a bright red. I mean, we're going to prime it obviously, but I still didn't want to use black. I was going to use filler, but I decided against the filler because I figure epoxy sculpt would be quicker and faster. I wouldn't have so much sanding to do with the epoxy sculpt, because then I can work with it, shape it, blend it in there all perfect and not have to sand. So this is a gray. I wanted white. They didn't have white. All they had was either gray or black. So this will be gray, and it's going to get prime gray anyway, so it should be alright. If you never worked with this stuff, it's really easy to work with. You just mix equal parts, kind of knead it all up, and then you just put it on there where you need it. So what we'll do is we'll mix the amount of it up. I'll probably roll it into like a little roll, and then cut two of them off, and then we'll just form it around between the body and the flare, and then we'll blend it in, let it dry, and then we'll go back and sand. But yeah, I think we got it looking somewhat like his. May not be perfect, but yeah, I think we'll get it once all the filler work is on and sanded. I think it'll be alright. And I did get my Moon Eyes kit in. I'm excited. Haven't built one of these in a long time. Atlantis brought it back. They just released it. This is brand new Moon Eyes dragster kit, and yeah, I'm anxious to build this one. It's been a while. Okay, I think that's it. Alright guys, take care. We'll see you.